The 120% standard. Why good enough is the plague of greatness. Most people will never understand the true meaning of the 120% standard. Why good enough is the plague of greatness. They go through life half asleep, following the crowd, never questioning why they feel empty inside. But you're different. You clicked on this video because something inside you knows there's more. That inner voice whispering that you were made for greatness, that voice is right. And today, we're going to turn that whisper into a roar. The concept we're exploring isn't just another piece of motivational fluff. It's a fundamental truth that separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. Why good enough is the plague of greatness. This isn't philosophy. It's the operating system of champions. Look around you right now. Look at the people settling for mediocrity, accepting their limitations, and calling it being realistic. That's not realism, that's surrender. The world is filled with people who gave up on their dreams because someone told them to be practical. But here's what nobody tells you. Practical people build other people's dreams. Visionaries build their own empires. The path we're about to explore requires courage. The courage to be uncomfortable, the courage to stand alone, and the courage to demand more from yourself than anyone else would ever dare ask. Are you ready for that? Because there's no going back once you truly understand what it means to embrace this principle.
Here's the uncomfortable truth that the self-help industry doesn't want you to know. 97% of people who consume motivational content never change. They watch the videos, read the books, attend the seminars, and then go right back to their old patterns. Why? Because understanding is not the same as implementing. Knowing is not the same as doing. They mistake the feeling of inspiration for the reality of transformation. That dopamine hit from watching a powerful video tricks their brain into thinking they've actually accomplished something. But their life remains unchanged, their potential remains unrealized, and their dreams remain fantasies. The barrier isn't intelligence. The barrier isn't opportunity. The barrier isn't even circumstances, though that's the most popular excuse. The barrier is the gap between who you are and who you need to become to achieve what you want. Most people are unwilling to cross that gap because crossing it requires sacrifice. It requires doing things you don't want to do. It requires becoming a person you've never been before. It requires killing the comfortable version of yourself so that the powerful version can emerge. This psychological death is terrifying, which is why most people choose the slow death of mediocrity over the temporary pain of transformation.
Let me break down exactly what the 120% standard means and why it will change everything for you. This isn't about positive thinking or manifesting or any of that surface-level nonsense. This is about understanding a fundamental law of success that operates whether you believe in it or not, just like gravity. The principle states that your external reality is always a reflection of your internal state. Your bank account reflects your value proposition. Your body reflects your discipline. Your relationships reflect your emotional intelligence. Nothing in your life is random. Everything is a result. When you truly internalize this principle, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a creator of outcomes. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" You stop waiting for conditions to be right and start making conditions right through your actions. This shift in perspective is the difference between the masses who react to life and the elite who shape it. Your ancestors survived impossible odds so that you could exist today. They didn't fight through wars, famines, and hardships so that you could sit on your couch and scroll through social media. You owe them and yourself a life fully lived.
Understanding principles is worthless without practical application. So here's exactly how to implement this in your life starting today. First, you need to conduct a ruthless audit of your current situation. Look at every area of your life: health, wealth, relationships, purpose, and give yourself an honest score from 1 to 10. Not the score you want to have, not the score you're working toward, the score that your actual life demonstrates right now. This audit will be painful, but that pain is the starting point of all change. You cannot fix what you refuse to acknowledge. Second, Identify the one area where improvement would create the biggest positive cascade in your other areas. For most people, this is either health or wealth, because these tend to be foundational. Once you've identified your priority area, define exactly what success looks like. Not vague goals like get healthier or make more money. Specific, measurable targets with deadlines. Lose 20 pounds by December 31st. Increase monthly income by $2,000 within 90 days. Vague goals produce vague results. Specific goals produce specific results. Your brain needs a clear target to mobilize its resources effectively.
The biggest obstacle to your success is not external. It's the programming running between your ears. From the moment you were born, you've been conditioned by family, society, media, and education to think in certain ways. Much of this programming is designed to make you a compliant consumer and worker, not a powerful creator and leader. To achieve extraordinary results, you must systematically identify and override this limiting programming. This is not easy. Your brain will resist change because it interprets change as danger. But resistance is not reality. Just because something feels wrong doesn't mean it is wrong. Start by monitoring your self-talk. The average person has 60,000 thoughts per day, and for most people, 80% of those thoughts are negative and repetitive. They're running the same mental programs that produce their current results, expecting somehow to get different outcomes. This is insanity. You must become the gatekeeper of your own mind. When a limiting thought arises, I can't, I'm not good enough, it's too hard, you must intercept it immediately and replace it with an empowering alternative. This isn't delusion, this is direction. You're not pretending problems don't exist, you're refusing to let problems define what's possible.
Success is not a single decision. It's a series of daily choices compounded over time. What you do today will echo in your future. That's why you need a battle plan, a non-negotiable daily routine that ensures you're making progress regardless of how you feel. Feelings are unreliable guides. Motivation comes and goes like the weather, but a well-designed routine operates independently of motivation. It turns success into a system rather than a struggle. Here's the foundation of that routine. You must win the morning. How you start your day determines how you live your day. Wake up at least 1 hour before you have to. Use that hour exclusively for activities that move you toward your goals. Not email, not social media, not reacting to other people's agendas. Exercise, meditate, learn, plan, or work on your most important project. This morning ritual accomplishes two things. It ensures daily progress on your priorities, and it builds your self-discipline muscle through consistent practice. Every day you keep this commitment to yourself, you strengthen your identity as a person who does what they say they'll do. Every day you break it, you weaken that identity. Choose wisely.
One of the greatest lies of modern culture is the myth of overnight success. We see someone at the top and assume they got there quickly, easily, through luck or connections. We don't see the years of struggle, the thousands of failures, the moments of doubt when they almost quit. This creates a dangerous illusion that if success doesn't come quickly, it's not coming at all. The truth is exactly opposite. Anything worth achieving takes time. The greater the goal, the longer the timeline. You're not just building a result, you're building the person capable of achieving and sustaining that result. Adopt what I call the decade perspective. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 10 years? What skills will I need? What habits must I develop? What person must I become? Now work backwards from that vision to today. What must you do this year, this month, this week, today to stay on trajectory toward that 10-year vision? This long-term thinking immunizes you against the short-term setbacks that derail most people. When you know where you're going and why, temporary failures become data points rather than death sentences. Every master was once a disaster. The difference is they kept going.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but knowledge without action is just entertainment. The question now is, what will you do with what you've learned? Will you let this be another video that inspires you for an hour and then fades into memory? Or will you let this be the turning point? The day you drew a line in the sand and declared that mediocrity is no longer acceptable. The choice is yours, and it's a choice you'll make not just with your words, but with your actions over the coming days, weeks, and months. Remember this, you are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not what other people have told you that you are. You are pure potential waiting to be activated, a force of nature waiting to be unleashed. Everything you need to succeed is already within you. It just needs to be cultivated, developed, and deployed with relentless consistency. The world doesn't owe you success, but if you apply what you've learned today, if you commit fully to the process of becoming, success becomes inevitable. Not easy, not quick, but inevitable. Now turn off this video and go become the person you were born to be. Your time is now.